he's looking for is we're waiting for the circumstances to get better. We weren't waiting for things to really look the way we feel they're supposed to look. We're waiting for things to line up, and we're waiting for them to actually get better for us before we really start approaching and employing our words. And he's saying, you can't wait until everything's good, everything's better, that it looks pleasing to you before you actually start using words that line up with what I've been trying to get you to speak in the dark anyway. Because your dark's not going to change until you speak what I've told you to speak. So you got to employ the words. He's written them. They've been written for us the whole time. But we've got to know that it's in the dark times when things feel worse, when things look worse, when things seem to be worse. That's when he's saying, I need for you to show somebody that this works. And you keeping quiet. You're not opening your mouth at the time that I've got designed for what comes out of your mouth to make the most difference. And that's what we've got to begin to understand. See, because something else that we looked at last week was the fact that man cannot live by bread alone, okay? But by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Now understand this. One of the keys that we've got to understand about this fact is that to make bread in the earth is a process, okay? To make it in the earth is a process. And I need for you to pay close attention to how I'm going to speak about this, because notice what I'm saying. To make it here in the earth, it's a process. All right? Now, there are some things that we get from heaven that are already complete. There's some things that come from heaven that are already done. They're already worked out. They're already figured out. They're already made. That's what we've got to understand about the manna that came down. They didn't have to do anything but what? Eat it. That's all they had to do was gather it and eat it. They didn't have to process it. They didn't have to do anything. All they had to do was position themselves and eat. And sometimes there's things that come from heaven that are already in that setup. But that's why I told you to pay close attention to what I was telling you, that here in the earth, to make bread, it's a process. So now, you got to figure out, the bread that you're getting, is it from heaven or is it from earth? See, because he sends us some incomplete words and says, I need you to finish this. For instance, not one of our addresses of where we live is in this Bible. Not one. I don't care where you're living, and I don't care how much it costed for where you live, and I don't care. Your address is not in here. Now, he said he'd give you houses you didn't build. That's right. Vineyards you didn't plant. And all of that. But guess who's got to pick out where that's going to be? So then you got to pick it out. And he says, that's your bread right there. You got to go through the process. All right. See, this is not ready for you. And truth be told, you're not ready for it. So I got to get you to go through this process to make what I've got to nourish you. Y'all ready? Go to Exodus. Exodus 23. Exodus 23. So he sets up dark signs. He says, okay, you need money. All right. Okay. You need a place to stay. Okay. You want your relationship better. Okay. You want all of these things. Okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Turn the oven on. Get your pan out. We got a process we got to go through here. He said, because I can't send your house and your car directly from heaven. Somebody gonna die if you do it like that. Because it's gonna come full weight, full force, falling from the sky. And if it drops on somebody, yeah, it's game over. So he says, no, in order to keep this a safe setup, I got to get you to make this. Now I'm going to give you revelation and information. I'm going to give you words to speak. I'm going to give you places to go. I'm going to give you things to do. But I need for you to understand this is a process of your bread. You trying to go get somebody to give you something already finished, and I ain't got it set up like that. You got to talk this thing into existence. Exodus 23, beginning at verse 20, says this. Exodus 23, beginning at verse 20, says this. Now remember, here in the earth, to make bread, it is a process. In verse 20, we'll read down to verse 30, it says, behold, I send an angel, where? Before you. I got somebody already prepared the way for you beforehand. All you got to do is this, to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions. For my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee in unto the Amorites, the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. All right, now verse 25 through 30 is where I need you to lock in. It says, and you shall serve the Lord your God. I'm going to attempt to keep from shouting throughout all of this because I told you it's a process, okay? But he says right there, and he shall bless thy bread. Yes. And thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. Oh. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and I will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. Verse 30. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. He's saying it's a process that I need for you to grow little by little, by little, by little, by little, by little, by little, by little. You have to endure the process. I have produced some things to help you endure the process, like I sent my angel to fight against those that will try to fight against you. I've sent wasps. I've sent hornets. Y'all hear me? Hear what I'm telling you, please. The week before Halloween.
That's right. There they was. There they was.
There were wasps.
That's right.
Sure was.
Y'all trying to run them away, and he's saying, I sent them so they could run your folks away. Your enemies that's coming against you, I've already sent that before you to go ahead and give you